What's up guys, Mike here from the Losco in Bellingham, Washington. Today we're going to do a nice chill video and do a quick bike check. Go! I have had a ton of requests from you guys in the comments on all of my videos asking for me to do a video of a bike check of my bike to see what bike I'm riding and what components I choose to ride. Since I own a bike shop, I do have the ability to ride pretty much whatever components I want from any brand, which is pretty cool, and this is a collection of all the parts that feel both the best on the trail and also that have been the most reliable, not only for me, but also for our customers. I built this bike just over a year ago and I've been riding it really hard ever since. For the most part, this bike is the exact same as it was when I first built it, minus a couple changes to tires and also to suspension. All right, let's check out what I'm riding. All right, let's start with the frame, which is gonna surprise a lot of you people. This is actually a vintage bike. It's somewhat retro. This is a 2016 NS Snabb E Carbon. E stands for Enduro. It's got 165 millimeters of travel in the back. And something else that's pretty crazy about this bike is that it doesn't have boost spacing in the rear. I fall down all the time and I can't hit jumps and I can't ride very fast because it's not boost.
Oh!
Holy crap!
Rip dog.
Maybe one day if I'm lucky, I'll upgrade to boost and really be able to ride my bike. It's got matte and gloss black paint, and I do have a lot of the frame covered in some 3M protective frame tape. The chainstays are protected using an old tube, cut in half, and wound up super nice to make it look really pro. It might be kind of weird thinking like, oh, this guy owns a bike shop. Why the heck does he have a bike from 2016? Shouldn't he have like the latest and greatest? Well, it's kind of surprising. I actually really like having this bike that's a couple years old because it's before all the bikes started getting like super long and super slack. So this bike is just really fun all around. It's got about a 66-degree head tube angle, and it's just really fun. It's got about a 445 millimeter reach. It's a size medium, and I am 5'7", so I feel like this bike just fits me perfect, and it does everything that I want very well without being too slack and losing any of the fun element about it. Right now, I've got an air shock in the rear, and I have my fork set up at 160 millimeters. But in the summertime, when I'm riding a lot of bike parks and up in Canada, where things get really steep and chunky, I will lengthen my fork out to 180 millimeters, and I'll put a coil shock in the rear just to make it a little bit more monster truck style. For drivetrain, I have a SRAM X01 Eagle setup with a carbon X01 Eagle crankset, 170 millimeters long. I have an X01 Eagle derailleur, an XX1 Eagle chain in black because they look cool, and I have an X01 Eagle cassette. The crankset is a GXP spindle, so I'm not even in the dub era yet. Crazy, right? Also, for the bottom bracket, I use a Wheels Manufacturing thread together bottom bracket. This frame has a Press Fit 92, and I would highly recommend having a Wheels Manufacturing bottom bracket for any press fit carbon frame, especially the ones that thread together. That's one of my favorite parts of this bike, is the bottom bracket. That's how much I like that thing. I've got a 32-tooth oval chainring from Wolftooth, and I really like that thing. I recently rode a demo bike that had a round chainring, and I could definitely feel the difference right there. It definitely helps a little bit, and if you do want to learn more about oval chainrings, you can check out my oval chainring video up here. To hold my chain on, I have a Wolftooth Narwolf chain guide. It's just the top chain guide. I don't have a bash guard. I definitely wouldn't mind having one, but I haven't had an issue yet. And now that I just said that, I'm definitely going to smash my frame on something and destroy my chainring, so knock on wood. For pedals, I ride flats, and I have the Raceface Atlas pedals. I used to have the One-Up Components composite pedals, but my feet are too small. And so I had to get something that fit my foot a little bit better, and these Atlas pedals fit my foot just perfect like a glove, so I really like these things. Now for where I put my butt, I have a Ergon SME3 saddle. It's the wrong size and my butt goes numb pretty much every time I ride, and I don't know why. I just keep forgetting to get the correct size saddle. So if you don't want your butt to go numb when you ride, don't be lazy like me and get the correct size and just do it right away. My saddle is actually pretty uncomfortable because I ordered too narrow. of a size. So I did want to try out this prototype ergon saddle. It's injection molded, actually very affordable. You can find a link in the description below and order one of these up, and it's not free shipping because it's a very large box, but let's test this out and see how it goes. Dude, this is awesome. For a dropper post, I have a Fox Transfer Factory Series with the Kashima coating on it. It's 150 millimeters and it's internally routed. My favorite thing about the Fox Transfer post is not only that it's been the most reliable seat post, not only for me, but all of our customers, is also that it's super loud. So when it tops out and when you bottom it out and put the seat all the way down, you definitely know when your dropper is up or down because it makes a very loud audible noise. And this is just the best dropper post that I've ever used, and I love that thing. Now for the cockpit, I have a Raceface 6C 35 millimeter diameter bar. They are uncut at 800 millimeters of wide, and I have been meaning to cut these things down to 780 millimeters for quite some time, and I just keep forgetting to do so, so they are uncut at the moment. The stem is a Raceface Atlas. It's 35 millimeters long, and of course it is a 35 millimeter diameter for the 6C bars, and I've had this stem actually on my past 3 bikes, and it's just been all over the place with me, and it's been the most reliable stem that I've ever used. For a shifter, I have a SRAM XX1 Eagle, and I chose to do a XX1 shifter rather than the XO1 just because it's got a carbon shift lever, and I'm kind of a sucker for carbon shift levers. They just feel really nice. For a dropper post remote, I have the Wolf Tooth Remote Light Action, which is integrated into my SRAM Matchmaker brake mount. I would highly recommend the Wolf Tooth Remote for anyone using a dropper post. It feels just like a shifter, so it makes your cockpit feel really symmetrical, which is why I run it. It also runs on a bearing, so it has super smooth actuation, and it's definitely the best dropper post remote out there right now, and that's why I use it. And for a nice finishing touch-up here on the cockpit, I have all my cables and housing routed through heat shrink. I would highly recommend this to anybody on any of their bikes. Seriously, this is amazing. It makes your bike ride super quiet so that your housing isn't clanking together when you're riding a rough trail. And also, it just looks super clean and keeps your cables and housing really organized and looking good. To slow me down while I'm flying through the air at terminal velocity, I use SRAM Code RSC brakes, and I have a 200 millimeter centerline rotor in the front and a 180 millimeter centerline rotor in the rear. In the calipers, I use metallic sintered pads. To keep me rolling smooth, I have the WR1 Agent carbon wheels, and these are probably going to be the part that I recommend the most to pretty much everybody that rides anything rough. The Agent rims are laced up to Project 321 hubs. These things are pretty sweet because the rear hub I have quiet pawls. I really like quiet hubs, and they've definitely grown on me in the past couple years because you don't hear anything besides your tires on dirt, and it's kind of tranquil and calming when you're on a bike ride, and that's all you can hear. It's really nice. Now, the reason why I like the WR1 Agent rims so much, and this is going to be the part that I talk the most about, because I've literally smacked these rims into rocks probably at least 150 times in Whistler Bike Park, and I don't even believe that that's true, that I am still riding the same rims, because on my last bike I had alloy rims and they were just so dented up that they wouldn't hold air, especially in the rear, and that was just kind of a bummer because I only made it a couple months on alloy rims. So switching to carbon rims has definitely been pretty sweet, and that is my favorite part about this bike. And another sweet thing too about WR1 wheels is these things do have a lifetime warranty. So if I finally do find the breaking point on one of these rims, Dustin at WR1 will send me a new one for life. The shoes on this pony are a WTB Vigilante 2.5 in the front with a light casing and high grip rubber compound. And in the rear, I have a WTB Judge 2.4 with the tough casing and the fast rolling rubber compound. I found that this tire setup is really good for pretty much any riding condition, and this is my second set of WTB tires that I've had on this bike. I did have a Convict 2.5 in the front and a Trail Boss 2.4 in the rear, which was also really good, and then sometimes in the summer I do ride the Riddler, which is a semi-slick. I really do like semi-slick tires because you slide all over the place and it's really fun. I've been riding WTB tires for 2 years now, and I have had 0 flats, so you're gonna keep seeing me riding these things. I am in love with WTB tires. Front and rear, these tires are both, of course, set up tubeless, and I run 20 PSI in the front and about 26 in the rear. For grips, I ride the ODI Elite Pro. These have been my favorite grips that I've ridden in the past couple years. It's got a nice soft palm cushion on top and then kind of the waffle grip underneath. and it's pretty much the perfect grip in my eyes, so I've been super stoked on those. And hidden in my fork steer tube right here, I have my multi-tool, which is a 1UP Components EDC tool. And that thing is sweet because I can always make sure that I have my multi-tools with me and don't have to worry about sticking things in my pocket or anything. To make sure that my fork is spinning smooth is a Cane Creek 40 series headset. And last but not least, let's go to what makes the bike feel really good and planted on the trail, which is the Fox suspension. I have a Fox Float X2 in the rear and a Fox Factory 36 fork up front. I know you guys probably want to know my suspension settings, but I don't want to share them because I really want you guys to get out on the trail and figure out how to set up your suspension yourself for your suspension to feel best for you, your bike, and the riding style that you like to do. And if you want to learn more about that, then you can check out the video up here in the corner. I have 2 tokens in my fork and 2 tokens in the shock. And for setup, I like to make both my fork and shock feel super planted when I'm riding through rough stuff, yet pretty active and fast, so when I'm riding on smooth terrain, I can just kind of like jump around and make the bike feel all poppy and stuff and make it really fun. The fork has the Grip 2 damper in it and has a standard 44mm rake. Mounted to my fork is a Groundkeeper fender. It's a super sweet company. I'd highly recommend checking them out. They're based and designed here in Bellingham. The one that I've got has a sweet treetop design that's black and white, and it matches the scheme of my bike, which is actually why I like Groundkeeper fenders. They make a whole ton of different color schemes and designs so that you can seriously bling out your bike, make it match really perfect, and they definitely stand out from all the other fenders out there. For hydration, I just got a standard regular old bottle cage with a water bottle in it, and then below the water bottle cage, I have a tube strapped to the frame using a 1UP Components EDC strap, and bundled over here is a CO2 cartridge with a CO2 inflator head. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that you really enjoyed today's video of my bike check, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing what kind of bike and components that I like to ride. Now, I've said it once and I will say it again, we really only like to sell the products that we actually ride. So if you are either building up a new bike or you are interested in upgrading the parts on your current ride to any of the parts that you saw in today's video that I had on my personal bike in today's bike check, then feel free to check the links in the description below the video or simply head over to our website at thelostco.com. And if you guys have any questions on compatibility, availability, or pricing, feel free to give us a call at the shop. Phone number is 360-306-8827, and either I or one of the Lostco team members will be more than happy to help you out with any of your questions and help you get some sweet new bike parts. And as always, give us a big thumbs up if you like this video, and if you really enjoyed watching this video, make sure to share it with a friend, and also hit that subscribe button, and make sure to click that little bell notification to make sure that you don't miss out on any of our future videos. And what do you guys think about my bike build? Would you do something different? Would you do different suspension or a different drivetrain or different brakes? Would you do different colors? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be seriously stoked to see what you guys think. Now, once again, my name's Mike. I'm one of the owners here at the Lostco in Bellingham, Washington. If you like what we're doing here at the shop and you enjoy our videos, please support us by purchasing your bike parts either online or in store. And at the very least, feel free to pick up one of these sweet Lostco shirts. We've got a whole bunch of different types on our website and in store. And not only will you look good, but you'll also help spread the word of the Lostco. Until next time, happy trails.